Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, ready to do some podcasting with my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday morning. You may have seen us around the internet in clips, possibly, that in clip form that you can share the show if you're on Twitter. If you're on Instagram, whatever, you follow our show on there, TBGWT on Twitter, the Blackout Tips on Instagram. If you follow those, share those clips, put them in your stories.
Yes.
We appreciate that. It helps us go viral. Leave a comment, all that stuff. We're not just doing it for no reason, and we want to show the Inflation Network that it's worth, doing that extra work for us. And many of these are clips that y'all suggested. There's some coming in the chamber, so we still got some loaded up. I'm finding old clips and putting those up too. So share that stuff. It helps us out tremendously.
Yes, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube.
There you go. The official weapon of the show is Fold chair, the unofficial sport, and bullet ball extreme. And today's show is a what? It's a feedback show.
Yes, it is.
This is where
Feed in the back.
Hear all the stuff that y'all had to say about all the stuff that we had to say throughout the week. And this is just how it goes. This is where it goes. This is how we do it. Let's see. What was I gonna say? Oh, YouTube. I don't know what to tell y'all. The sound for the thing, I'm gonna have to leave that little thing click so we can get better sound. I'm trying to experiment to see if I can figure this out, and it still kind of feels choppy when I do it without clicking the little option. So I'm gonna try to see, and I don't know what this means for YouTube, if it's gonna sound like a weird echo or what.
Right.
Just trust that I'm trying. And
we working on that.
I'm working on stuff. At any rate, feedback. So we got emails, voicemails. We have comments on our website. We have votes in the polls. We have comments on YouTube. We're gonna get to all that, but there is a special group of people that they donate to the show. They go to the blackouttips.com, the website. They look on the right hand side. If you're on the phone, you turn it sideways, and you can see on the little sidebar, it's like, hey, do you want to support the show? And you can do that financially through PayPal, through recurring donations of any amount. We shout you out. If it's a one-time donation, we still shout you out. But that's what we do here, and that's what this segment is, and that's why we want to give these people some love.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tied to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day. All right, new day, new pay. Let's see who came through with the money, okay? Because ain't nothing funny, because doesn't nothing move with the money. J Full hit us with the recurring donation. Palmetto Stone Magic, Alfonso M. I got a one-time donation. Now this is not through our PayPal. I was on the Karen Hunter show and I made a joke about white guilt and how people need to send me money through my Cash App to alleviate their white guilt. And somebody sent me $2. David K, thank you for the $2. I was just joking, but I appreciate it. I'll make sure to spend it on something black. Jasmine J, David C, Autumn Harvest LLC, Kyle K, James C, Dr. Professor Bambi, Kimberly the Falcons Diva, Jason F, Ken M, Derek LW, Zach from the Living Corporate Podcast, and lastly Lawrence C. Those are all the people that put in this week on the donations. All right, let's talk about the 5-star reviews. We got five-star reviews. This one is a re-up from our girl Allegra. She says, typically long-winded in voicemails and written input, but we'll keep this relatively simple. Just listen. They are awesome and two independently lovely individuals. Thank you.
Yay!
We love to see it. Heart emoji at the end.
We do.
A Gray says, love it, 5 stars. Started listening when I heard Rod on Karen Hunter. I love you both and predicted that Karen was an Aries before she even said her birthday. LOL. Love you, Aries sister and Rod.
Yay!
She is. She's very fiery Aries. Again, 5 stars. This is from K Patrick 329, who says, here are 5 stars for Karen and Rod. Thank you.
Come on, we'll take 5, 10, 15, 20, however many you feel like giving us.
We love it. As long as it's intervals of 5.
Yes, sir.
A fun time, says Fruited Pebbles, who says this podcast is very informative, insightful, and all around fun. I highly recommend. Thank you.
Yay!
And the last one is from A Lovely Day on Twitter, who says, I could barely, and barely is Bearly, keep it together. I have a sprained finger and typing this is difficult, but I had to give y'all 5 stars for the bear segment alone on episode 2991. Well, you might be seeing it again on your social medias. Be on the lookout.
Dropping a hint.
Be on the lookout, everybody.
Wink, wink.
Be on the Instagram. Share it with people. Let them see how weird and punny we are.
Right?
The way I laughed through this entire thing, I love a good pun, and y'all did y'all thing, firing bear puns back and forth. Please make sure you upload that clip to TikTok or YouTube Shorts. It's good, silly fun. Love y'all day. Thank you. That was so nice. That's why we do it. That's honestly why we do it, guys. All right. Let's get to the 5-star, to the comments on the website. The comments on the website is what we're going to get to. But first, I'm going to play a little music that's probably going to sound terrible on YouTube. I'm sorry, but we have to, we got to do something, guys. I got to make money. I can't be broke. That's called Turn by DJ Jaffa. All right, let's get to these comments. We had 4 episodes this week. The first episode has 16 comments. It's
damn.
2989. It's okay to give a fuck, and it's our feedback episode.
Y'all had something to say.
Yeah, and I think I know what sparked this, and it's went exactly as I predicted. Which, let's see the comments and we can get into it. So. Okay. The feedback episode, Apia responds first, as always, because she on that German time.
All right, the future time, like Wanga.
Rod said something that made me think, and it was that saying both sides is a great way to mask being totally uninformed. True. Right. I'm not interested in sports, not even football. When I have to talk to someone who loves talking about it in a work setting, that's for small talk. Otherwise, I don't care. I can always say, what about football this year? It's crazy. No matter what year it is and what is happening.
No matter what year.
So I seem informed, and the other one goes off. I've seen what the undecided voters in the New York Times say in the New York Times. The main criticism about Donald Trump is he's too extreme. Kamala, I don't know enough about her. One of these two can be changed by the undecided voter alone. It's not turning Donald Trump less extreme. Exactly. These are not real complaints. These are not real issues.
No, they're not. That's why I say the undecided voter is bullshit. They come around every 4 years, like Jill Stein, like the Green Party, like Kanye West. They are not real, because if they were real, we'd be hearing about, we're voting for the mayor. Are you undecided? Like, we would literally hear about them in like your basic ass, we're voting for Congress, we're voting for Senate on the off cycles now, not the 4 years, the 2 years between. Like if this populace was real, and they were serious, and people actually really catered towards them, because they don't cater towards you unless you fucking vote, and people don't want to hear that. So I don't want to hear that, because nobody's quote unquote catering towards them. And a lot of times, in me personally, I think it's just a hype from the fucking news, because nobody gives a goddamn about these people until this voting time for the president.
Well, it's also weird too, because we group undecided voters into this one big pot and just act like they have everything in common. And so, well, if the candidate would just do this, or this, or this policy or whatever. And I find that is wish casting, where people are projecting onto this mass group of anonymous people some value system that they agree with. Like, oh, how we would get those people is if we were more blank. And it's always your wish list. It's never, no one ever wants to admit the opposite and be like, how you get more of those people if instead of running Kamala Harris, they ran a white man. Nobody's gonna say that shit because that's very unpopular and fucked up, and you don't want to admit that you want that group of people, right? Like that, they're like F those people. Well, I think in that group of undecided, there's a lot of tangents. There's people just lazy and not voting.
Right.
There's people that are just uninformed and not voting. There's people that are just contrarian and not voting. There's people that are ultra conservative and even more conservative than the Republican Party. There's people that are ultra liberal, more liberal. They claim to be more liberal than anything the Democrats can do. Like, there's a bunch of reasons people don't vote, but we just treat it like, oh, just do this one thing. And I stopped believing the stuff that comes out of their mouths years ago. So I don't really trust when they go out and interview those people. It's a waste of time for a person like me to read it because I don't trust what they're saying anyway. I always just assume it's something else and they don't want to say it out loud.
Agreed. And also, I stopped believing it years ago because the thing is, if you've been alive for an extensive period of time, this quote unquote phenomenon that they try to act like every 4 years is just something that's just sprung out of nowhere is not true. I've seen enough of this. I got tired of, and it's bad, but when it first started, it was terrible because they used to have like these, they still do, but it's not as bad. They used to have big ass town halls where people would pile up in there and they would ask them like these stupid ass questions, and you would listen to them and you'd be like, oh, okay, your mind, like from their comments, you be like, your mind is made up. And I'm like, you don't want to say what the real reason is, be it racism, be it you think you special, be it, whatever the reasoning is, you don't want to say that because the thing is, everybody wants to feel important and everybody wants their voice to be heard. And people don't, and I've seen this on social media, people don't want to tell the truth because the truth will cause people to fucking dismiss you and we won't be having an argument when you say things. If you be like, oh, I'm just racist, people are like, okay, motherfucker, we ain't got to have this conversation. But because everybody wants to back and forth, this pointless anyway, because nobody's mind is going to be changed. That's what they want. They want you there. They want you engaged. They want you to act like these people fucking matter. So people don't want to tell the truth because you tell the truth, people like me would dismiss you and move on, and then there wouldn't be a quote unquote conversation to be had for this piece that we want you to click on and view and watch.
Yeah. I think that all of that's true too, and then also a lot of them are lying to themselves, so they don't even know what their truth is. Like, they're not, like, how many people don't have a racist bone in their body, but we literally caught them doing something racist? Like,
right.
We've covered so many articles where somebody just clearly, blatantly did some racist bullshit, and then when the news talks to them, they're like, I don't have a racist bone in my body. Some of my best friends are X amount of race or whatever, and it's like, right, you would have to admit something about yourself to yourself that you ain't ready to do.
Right.
So if you ask somebody flat out, like, is the problem with Kamala Harris that she's a woman? Vast majority of these undecided people ain't about to say that. They're like, no, it's just I don't know her.
Right. It's the problem that she's black, and you won't admit that either.
Yeah,
it's the problem because whatever the reasoning is, it's just not it's not. You're not going to admit what the real cause is.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's whatever it is, they're going to. Unless they can admit it to themselves, they can't tell that truth to everybody else, and it's a shameful truth. So, if it is those reasons, they're not gonna say, And I think all the reasons for the undecided are shameful. I think even stuff like just being uninformed or being lazy, you would have to admit that to yourself, and no one's gonna sit on a panel and be like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even look up shit about these candidates.
Right.
I don't know anything, and I don't care. I'm going off vibes. Let's see. But yeah, the person could just sit down and read some stuff about Kamala or even watch some videos if reading is too hard. But no, that the person isn't informed is somehow Kamala's fault somehow. Didn't she knock on your door at a time that works for you to inform you in an informative way? So sad. Only by logic alone you should vote for Kamala. Donald Trump is too extreme. On the other side, you don't know. Imagine one glass is full of stinky urine and the other one might be urine or take good tasty water. I drink the second one and it's good water. Then Apia got replied back a few hours later and said, I wrote this comment before hearing the voicemail targeting me. It hurt me deeply. My only move is leaving. And then a lot of people replied to this, which explains why we got so many comments on this episode. The first one is from Karen. You said, Apia, we enjoy your feedback. It's called The Feedback Show. It's the place where you leave comments. As stated on the show, we don't have an issue with you leaving feedback at all. Feel free to keep sending it in, and we will keep reading it, which I think counts more than any listener to the show's opinion. We are the host. So what's gonna happen on this show is what the fuck we say is gonna happen. There's nobody that can change that. But it's not just us. And one of the reasons I didn't do some long ass rant or whatever, get angry about it on Apia's behalf, is because I truly did see this coming. The amount of people that show her love throughout, and this is just the start of it. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you don't like something about our show, if you don't like us, you don't like the host or whatever, the worst thing to do is to write in some petty mean shit, because all that's gonna happen is people are gonna put their arms around us as a community, as listeners, as people that like each other, that's just here for good vibes. We don't have a very mean show, so we don't have this fan base of people that's always like roasting each other and kicking people out, and like we only do that out of love to each other. So when this happened last like Saturday and someone left that voicemail, which we were not expecting, we obviously were like caught by surprise.
Yeah, because we don't pre-listen.
When that happened, it was like in my mind I was like, well, now everyone's gonna write in and be like, we love Opia. And that's exactly what happened. So not one person wrote in to be like, well, that person had a good point. Everybody's like, man, fuck that, you know? Yatunder says, Apia, please don't mind that lady. I can only speak for myself, but I think most of the fans love you. 2 heart emojis. Amani of the Shot says, Apia, please don't let one person's negativity turn you away. That voicemail was rude and unnecessary. The fact that you are a white woman living in Germany gives you a vastly different perspective and lived experience from many of us, and that's a beautiful thing. Folks say they want diversity, but when they have to interact with someone who has a different perspective, they can't handle it. And Opia said she applied a heart emoji to another person. Leah said, this is my first time commenting. I had to come support Apia. Apia, I look forward to your feedback every week. It is nice to have a perspective from a person living in another country. You are a true fan and supporter of the Blackout Tips. Love you and Mr. Apia. Dizzy Lizzie Gal says, Jesus, I'm offended on Apia's behalf. What the fuck? You're fine, Apia. I enjoy your feedback and all the wild speculation regarding Diddy. Yours was not one that was off the wall. Listening back again, I think they were just upset about Diddy. It is what it is. That's what I think happened too. I think whatever was going on with that listener, they just heard, you know, someone even discussing like something about Diddy that was less than just damning, like fuck this guy right away, and I think they called in to be like, I'm sick of this Apia shit, you know, whatever. But once again, I as we talked about it last week, that kind of thinking doesn't really bother me because I've done a lot of thinking as a person that is naturally empathic. I've done a lot of thinking about that. And like, where do I stand on that? Because I truly do believe that people are not necessarily just born like monstrous. Stuff happens to them.
Agreed.
But at some point, it is still up to that person to, you know, to address their behavior and the things happening to them and their trauma and not pass that on. I can't have more. I can't want that for you. And I can't let the damage you do to other people just be excused by that, because we've all gone through some shit, you know. But yeah, I think sometimes people hear shit and just lash out, and I think that was kind of what happened. EVE says, I'm writing in to say I'm an Apia stan. I'm shocked, honestly.
Right? Apia stan. EVE coming out the back going, I got something to say.
I didn't see this coming. I enjoy her feedback, and I'm still invested in her search for a black friend. She makes me smile, and that voicemail felt rude. Apia, please don't stop writing in. Sign, your problematic black friend in America. Amani writes in and says, thank you for recommending the podcast Good Game with Sarah Spain. That interview with Christine Brennan was so good. Sarah got with Christine's filibustering ass.
A lot of people have, even on the Balls Deep pregame, people were saying that's. I need to sit down and listen to that one.
I don't be suggesting no bullshit. Folks, if you haven't listened, I highly recommend you do. I have now listened to a few other episodes and appreciate Christine's, I think she means Sarah's, nuanced take on how racism, sexism, and homophobia are impacting the WNBA players. She gets it. Yes, Sarah really does the work, does the reading, does the listening. And what I like about the episodes after that, because I'm a listener now. Like, that episode made me be like, all right, boom, we on Good Game now. What I really like in the episodes after that is that they still discuss the Kristen Brenner stuff. They still discuss the WNBA, but they also talk about like the actual WNBA, actual sports stuff. Like it's not all just, bashing Christine Brennan or whatever. And I love that the other people's perspectives come in and like they, like no one's getting shut down because I think what happens a lot of times when you're talking about somebody who's held in high esteem like Christine Brennan was, you end up with people being like, come on now, she's done so much, and like they're not piling on her, but they're just calling out like, but she is wrong, or she is twisting facts, or she is leaving stuff out. She's trying to get in some semantics. But at the end of the day, this is some fangirl level behavior. It's not just a, hey, Caitlin Clark is good. It's some she's going beyond. And I love that conversation. She understands how to be an ally, how to use her voice and platform to elevate people with marginalized identities. Rod, I appreciate the fact that you consume and recommend this type of media. It's why I love the show. You all make me laugh, keep me up on current events. I be busy, and I learned lots of new things. Karen, I have the message on Audible, and it will be my next listen.
Yes, I need to finish listening, but yeah, it's been interesting listening and to continue listening. It's not a long book, but it's also for me because a lot of the stuff he talks about is heavy. I kind of break between like, go a little bit break, go a little bit break.
Lil P says, I love Apia's feedback as well. That person is just a hater. In regards to celebrities and mental health, I feel bad for Kanye, and I'll admit I don't know his full story, but from what I understand, losing his mom was the beginning of his spiral. He also knows better, having been on medications for a bit. It's not the first time I heard someone with bipolar saying their meds numb their creativity. The manic phase makes them feel like they can accomplish anything, and in some cases they can, which perpetuates the idea that they don't need meds. But damn it, I cringed so hard seeing Kanye side with Trump, just knowing Trump was loving showing off that fool, having zero cares about him. Me too, man. I'm with certain people. I can't say for everybody, but I do understand the cutoff. Like, if you're not going to treat your mental illness, there's not much anyone can do for you, especially people that have money and fame and celebrity. There's a lot of people who will enable them and will just hop on, and they don't really give a fuck about that person's mental health or them as a human being at all. It's just, what access can I get? Some of the saddest moments I've felt in the recent 5 or 6 years have been videos of watching Kanye West in a room full of people that are just leeches. Where if I can tell from the camera phone or from whatever video you're putting this on social media, if I can tell this man's not in his right mind and he's saying stuff that is unconscionable, then everyone in that room can tell.
They're choosing to ignore it.
That tells you so much about these glommers on these untalented people, these people that are always looking for clout or something. The fact that they could sit there in a room, because if that was a person that I loved, if we were doing this podcast and Karen started talking like Kanye West in the middle of this podcast, I'd shut this motherfucking podcast down.
Right, we need to have a conversation.
Not because I'm worried about getting canceled or whatever the fuck thing but strictly out of Karen's not in her right mind, and I'm not gonna, no matter how viral this would go, no matter how much people would tune in, it's not worth it.
No.
To have my loved one literally going through something like this in front of y'all so we can get a little bit more clicks.
Agreed.
So I just don't like that, and it bothers me, and I understand how other people feel about Kanye. But I have a hard time rationalizing that no, the real Kanye is just a neo-Nazi, and the guy who spent 8 to 10 years of his career talking about race and society and all this stuff that was the fake Kanye. Oh, also it just happens to coincide with his mom dying and him going, I'm not going back on my meds.
Right.
So whatever people have to say, I think people have to set emotional boundaries sometimes, and a lot of times the fuel and the energy for those boundaries is anger, and so I think that's one of the reasons people have to stay so angry at Kanye, is because they actually loved and defended what Kanye was doing to start his career in a way that I think the only way to remind themselves to not feel that way about him is to stay angry at him. And I just mostly feel sad about what happened with him. And yeah, and I always feel sad, but it doesn't change anything. It's just, it's not like I feel sad and now I'm gonna call him a genius or be like, he kind of got a point. Like, no, I still feel that the stuff he's saying is pretty much bullshit for the last 5 to 6 years. And and I'll just leave it at that. And the media is fucking horrendous in dealing with mental health. I will never forget the paparazzi hounding Amanda Bynes when she was very clearly in the throes of a mental health episode. South Park wasn't off the mark with their Britney episode. I haven't seen the Britney one, I don't think. But I've been saying for years on the show about Britney Spears. Like, and honestly, I look at a lot of the people that are now angry at the media, angry at Justin Timberlake, angry at her parents. And a lot of them, I'm like, but I remember y'all laughing about her.
Yes.
I remember that. That was like, that shit wasn't just Perez Hilton. It was a societal, like, it's okay to laugh at her having a mental health breakdown.
Yes.
And, knowing she was a child star and all this shit. It was like jokes.
Yeah, I remember that. You probably had to be of a certain age, but yeah, it was the tabloids. Like, that shit would be like everywhere, and it would be like things that people would talk about for days and weeks on end. And it's also one of those things where, and this is me on the outside looking in, a lot of these quote unquote free Britney people, I get it, but truth be told, people really did not understand why it was set up, how it was set up, or any of that shit. If her father's abusive, yes, these things need to be changed. But that and the other stuff, they go hand in hand. And then, once things started happening and she started coming out and she started doing these things, everybody was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was like, yeah, these things may have been in place for a reason, y'all, but y'all was just like freer, not knowing anything about the consequences nor the repercussions. And her family would know much, much better than we would know about her making these choices and decisions.
I mean, two things can be true. Like, that, you might be right about the conservatorship and all that stuff. It's not like, but it's just, people went from, and I saw people say this from like, well, she, her father and like the conservatorship is abusive and messed up, to she shouldn't be under any supervision or anything. Everybody that has ever said that she has mental health struggles was basically lying. And then she's spinning holding knives on Instagram, and it's like, y'all don't know this woman. None of us really know this woman. It's more than just like a father goes to court and goes conservatorship.
Right.
There has to be a bunch of steps taken between that to make that happen, and the same way there's a bunch of steps taken to undo it. And so it's just weird. And then I always felt really bad about the Britney stuff because she was obviously reading the comments, and these people are fucking unhinged. No one should be subject to that much attention from the internet and reading it all, because these people say some wild, very offensive, messed up shit about people
on purpose. Yes.
And if they know you're reading, it just gets worse. They don't go, oh, I should have some personal responsibility. Britney Spears might read this comment. They go, oh, Britney Spears might read this comment. You look fat, you bitch, or whatever. And people just think it's all love or whatever. All right. Also, I discovered I know someone who legit doesn't know who he's voting for, and he's black. I had to hold back my disbelief because he was on his way out with his nephews, but he was like, I'm not sure Harris is about the kids at all. And being shocked and not having the time for a full-length discussion, I was able to tell him that Walls definitely is, and told him about the free lunches and free menstrual products for his state public schools, as well as his being a public school teacher. He did thank me for the info and said he'd look into it further, but I'm still sure my eyes were as big as saucer plates. I kind of wish I had said straight up, Trump doesn't like black people. He only likes people who can make him money, and as soon as you are used up, he'll throw you away. Project 2025 is super clear. Hope I said enough to change his mind, but damn. Yeah, you never know what's going to reach these people. Apia replied back yesterday and said, now that almost a week went by, I can reflect on the experience. This voicemail made me very sad. I really cried and couldn't even stop in yoga, and was honestly confused by my emotions. Fitting the title of the episode. The title was, It's Okay to Give a Fuck. It's the feedback show. It's not like I dominate every show or am the only one to comment. I thought things were fine and that people enjoyed it. So I was confused why it was bad that I said my opinion in a hopefully funny way, and that I don't know about black life in America, and that my wish to connect was somehow sick. I don't have the black experience. That's obviously true. But how is it my fault that, and I'm here to learn new stuff. I know about my life, like about a European immigrant experience, big pharma and yoga, lots of good stuff to offer. Is this bad? Should people who aren't black rather stay in their bubbles among themselves? I thought this was also bad. This is an honest question. This way I will never get a black friend. And I heard now at least 2 are required to be considered non-problematic.
you got to carry it too.
Gotta catch them all. I really enjoyed the show, but I don't want to make people angry. Evie says, we love you, Apia. Apia says, I love you too. And I have Bachelorette news. I met a second black Dorothea. Oh, Bachelorette news. I met a second black Dorothea on a convention of damn, did she do this to the show too? A convention of neuroradiology who tried to befriend me, and she was, as the other one, again, the same height as me. I'm almost 5'10". All right, so it's been a week. There'll be more comments about this throughout the shows, I'm sure, because I think there's some stuff on YouTube and all this stuff. The main thing I will say about this is not everybody's going to like you.
They're not.
And I, as a person that likes to be liked, I know that sucks. We do this show, literally thousands of people hear what we have to say all the time, every episode. And sometimes we get comments that I don't like, that I think are mean, that I think are unfair, judgmental, whatever, words you want to use. And I hate that shit. And it'll never not, like, I've got a thicker skin, but it'll never not bother me. That's like, all I'm doing is giving my opinion, and some motherfucker don't like me. But I do care a lot less than I used to care. I used to care a lot, like, damn, this motherfucker don't like me. Wow, what did I do? How can I get them to like me? So now I'm just like, well, I'm not your taste, and there's nothing you can really do about it. I'm not going anywhere. You can choose to go somewhere, or you can just continue to be upset and get ignored or whatever. Someone left a comment on our page this week that I ended up talking to Karen about, like, just privately while we were shopping or whatever. And because I deleted the comment, because I've explained this so many times, but it was a person saying, like, when Karen gives her banter, Rod just looks like he wants her to wrap it up and get it over with. And it doesn't matter how many times I explain this to people, like what my thought process is, what all the amount of shit I have going on over here on my side of the screen. Karen literally her job is to show up and talk. There is no, like, she don't have to do no research. She don't have to look at the next segment. She doesn't have to queue up any clips. So there's times that she's talking and I'm doing that thing. There's also the thing of me being in my head where I'm like, just shut the fuck up. Let this person get their complete thought out. Don't interrupt them. And I'm working on that too, because, like, I'm realizing it can be a more conversational thing, and I can sometimes interject in the middle of a thought if I know where it's going and stuff. But in general, I rather err on the side of shutting the fuck up, keeping my mouth closed, and her finishing her complete thought than interrupting this woman on the microphone that was also my wife, constantly or whatever. But I think at least thinking about it, and like, why has this been a critique from a few people on the show? It's not a lot of people. I mean, thousands of people listen to this and don't have a problem with it.
Agreed.
Hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, watch our YouTube videos. Only 2 people have ever made this comment. And of course, the video medium is not what we got in the podcasting from. It was all audio.
Right. It was no video.
But we're not like, we don't have the big time like studio setup where like someone else is filming this, a producer's telling us our segments, they're editing out every little chop and this, that, and the other. We do this live. You see every single frame of our face. You see everything that happens on the air. If one of us has to emergency use the bathroom, you just see one of us leaving. Like, this is what the fuck we do for a living. It's why we're so good at it, actually. But this element of like performance visually that I need to like be super engaged when Karen is talking, I think that only really comes up when the listener or viewer has a weird level of projection and secondhand embarrassment of me not like performing for Karen's every thought during banter. And the truth of the matter is, some shit is not for me. The same way some of my banter is just hey, here's a thing I wanted to tell the audience. It's not necessarily a thing we're telling each other. Some of it is.
Yeah, some of it is.
Some of it isn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that relatable. Sometimes it was funnier in our heads.
True.
And what is the funniest part is, and this is why I say it's projecting, this happens to me all the time. I come up with banter all the fucking time, and sometimes it's just not as good as I thought it was. It just don't spark the thing. And it's like a fine line between like, do I keep going and hope that they catch on and the audience gets it, or do I like wrap this shit up because this one ain't hitting? You know what I mean? It happens all the time. Like if I have 3-4 banters, sometimes I just be like, all right, this one ain't it. Boom. And Karen, back to you. You know, like that's just part of it. We're trying to do this live, and we don't do anything, so we don't, neither of us knows what the other's gonna say.
Right, we be all over the place. I know I do.
Right, so if Karen says something that is like off the wall, or something that I just like, if Karen says something about her hair products, look at me, I don't know.
Look at me.
Now I can sit up here and pretend and be like, oh really, is it the juices in the, or I can like make fun of her segment or whatever. Sometimes it's not even a joke for Karen, it's just observation. Wrap it up so I can get back to talking.
Wrap it up, bitch.
Let me tell y'all something. Talking, I do a lot of talking because it's hard, but a lot of my talking is just reading shit.
Yeah, a lot of it is
reading y'all's feedback, reading the fucking articles. A lot of my talking is I welcome the motherfucking break is my point. If Karen starts talking for 10 minutes on some bullshit about
sure will
about car doors or whatever the fuck, and she got like a whole thing she want to do, I'm gonna sit here and let her do it. And what you're seeing on my face is relief. Like, oh, cool.
Y'all know,
shut the fuck up.
Y'all know I can goddamn talk. And on top of that, what's so funny is like, and Roderick says this a lot of times when he's talking, because you know I feel a lot more comfortable with him. I'll turn around and I'm always interjection and interrupting the shit that he has to say all the time. Like,
and y'all don't never write in about it.
Like I do it all the time.
Project on to me. How come y'all don't never do that shit? When I
be like, damn, Karen always got something to say.
How about all the fucking times when she try to guess what I'm gonna say and she be wrong?
I do. Like, that ain't gonna stop either.
What about that shit? Y'all don't never be like, hey, this one's for Karen. Let Rod finish his point, because you be guessing stuff that he gonna say, and it's not what he gonna say.
It is not.
And he kind of loses track of his thoughts, and it takes him a second to get it back. You never write in about that shit. Stop bringing your weird, gendered, fucked up shit to our show. No one hates each other over here. We love each other, and we let each other finish our motherfucking sentence. Well, I let her finish her sentences, and then that's how it works. I don't know what this is. You know, it's the woman that's like, well, Rod's not laughing at her jokes hard enough. Nigga, what is wrong with you? Y'all want this to be the morning show? I got to fake laugh at jokes if I don't think they that funny or I don't understand them?
Good morning, the Black Guy Who Tips Podcast Network. How are you guys doing out there this morning? It is Saturday, October the 12th, 2022. The weather is 65 and sunny.
All right.
Oh, I could put it on, but I not me.
That's not what our show is. But anyway, so I say all of this to bring it back to Opia. If I gotta go through this and I host the motherfucking show, yeah, y'all gonna get some too. And it's not that I want y'all to get some, but it's just they don't universally love us, and the show is literally fucking us.
Right? They have a problem with us.
If it's not for us, they don't even have a thing to listen to. Someone left a comment on our Spotify that just was like, snooze fest. What the fuck you want me to do, nigga? I don't come down to your job and slap the dick out of your mouth while you on the docks. Leave me alone. You don't have anything positive to add. There's no, it's just someone being an asshole.
Right.
And so I try not to let that shit get to me too bad, because just everybody has their own shit.
They do.
More than likely, these people are actually triggered by some other shit. They, I don't like how much they talk about Kamala Harris. I'm a black conservative. I'm a hotep or whatever. I'm gonna say that's boring. And what they're really hoping is to hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
that's all. They're really hoping to hurt Karen's
yeah.
feelings, hurt our feelings. We had someone write in to say I should leave Karen. They don't understand why I'm with Karen. This is years ago. Fucking crazy.
They talked about why are you with me, and like I say, we're used to it now, but it's one of those things where they talk about me not dressing up, me not wearing makeup, me not having my hair done,
her accent, a bunch of shit.
When we first started, my accent was a big thing.
Yeah, but like, none of them know what the fuck they talking about.
No, they do not.
And most importantly, and this, for Apia, when she hears this, it's our show. That's it. What we say goes. If we don't like something, we'll say. We've had listeners that we had to be like, hey, that's enough. You're a bit wild. You saying a lot of wild, long ass shit. We don't got time for this. There's listeners where we just had to stop reading their feedback or stop playing their voicemails.
Yes.
There's listeners who only would say stuff to be triggering or angry
on purpose
or whatever the fuck. And that's they shit to deal with. But it's our show. We decide what goes in and goes out. So unless we got a problem with it, you good. I mean, and unless you personally have an issue with it. So if if it makes you feel like I don't want to contribute to the show because I thought I was being universally loved and apparently some motherfuckers don't like me, I understand. I'm never going to tell you to, you better write in. But don't not write in because of one hating ass person don't like you. Fuck them. Every time we hop on this mic is basically us saying fuck them to somebody that told us to stop.
Because sometimes we can get petty and stuff too. I forgot. It's been a while ago. I think somebody had wrote in about me saying bitch or something like that, and because everybody has their days. I just repeatedly said it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's one of them things where it was like, hey dog, hey, I got the mic.
Yeah, but mostly just fuck them. I wouldn't worry about it. Now it's easy for me to say I have thousands of episodes that it took me to learn. Fuck these people.
It took a while.
They gonna listen or they not gonna listen.
Agreed.
And to be 100% with you, a lot of times the motherfuckers complaining don't even put in on this. So they got all this complaining for some shit they get for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a person, you donate to the show. You listen to our premium shit. So that means you get behind the paywall. Like, you leave feedback. That's the content we need to continue to do the feedback show. It is what it is. If they don't like it, they just ass out. They just gonna have to not like it. And it's fine if people disagree with each other.
Yeah, it's okay. Everybody ain't got to get along, and everybody ain't got to like each other.
Yeah, so all this really did was show you how much of the people in the community who actually listened to the show and probably would have never said a word, just like, oh, I enjoy these Opia
never
comments,
said a word,
and they would have never let you know. But look at them now. They're like, oh no, I love you. I love what you do. I love your contribution. And if you can't hear those voices and let those voices get through, then that means there's an internal issue, because what you're getting 9 people to tell you, hey, I love you, don't stop contributing, and letting one person who didn't like it win is, to me, that's not fair to yourself. And I think, knowing you, Apia, you would not, if I said that's what happened to me, you wouldn't tell me to stop making a podcast.
True.
If I said, Apia, 1 out of every 20 people that listen to the Blackout Tips doesn't like me and doesn't like our show, I think your outward voice towards someone that's not yourself wouldn't be like, well, Rod, you should definitely take a week off and stop podcasting and maybe consider don't coming back. I think you'd be like, man, fuck that person. Not a lot of people got a lot of love for you and would miss you and what you do. So I hope you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Comments on YouTube. Tiffany Cherie says, I totally agree. I used to love Amanda Seales until she started becoming problematic. She almost always seems aggrieved. Like, sis, you didn't know that self-diagnosing yourself with Asperger's and telling the world you're on the spectrum because you could relate to the diagnosis wouldn't raise some eyebrows?
Right.
And also, I can't just get down with folks who never seem to take accountability for their actions. Everything is everyone else's fault. She's never wrong. Yeah, also, like, a big red flag for me, too, is the people who say anyone talking bad about me is saying they're doing that to me because I stand up for all these other people. I know people that stand up for other people. Mm-hmm. That's sometimes you can just be an asshole, and it always makes that, and the reason I don't like that is a red flag is because it always puts whoever's critiquing them in the bad guy category. Like, we just did a whole thing about people right up here and sometimes they don't like shit about me and Karen. Mm-hmm. Did I say it's because me and Karen stand up for black people? And no, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with them and why they don't fuck with us. But whatever it is I don't need it to be because I'm Martin Luther Malcolm X. It's just they don't like something about me, period. Fine, they could be projecting whatever it is. But I don't need it to turn into like I'm a martyr. But that Amanda Seales does a lot of like, it's because I'm doing this and I'm so woke and I'm like, so Issa Rae she not doing those things? Like, right. That's hard for me to believe. It sounds like it's an interpersonal dispute and you trying to turn it into some macro shit. And I don't like that shit from pretty much anybody. Like, you having an interpersonal thing, keep the micro to micro. Like, the macro shit, you gotta prove the macro shit to me. You can't, because that's too much of a get out of jail free card for people, because all of us got something.
Yes.
So we can all be like, well, no, man, it's really about the fact that I'm a black man. It's like, so it's not about the fact that you slapped her husband in front of her at a party because I'm black? Like, well, shut up, man. Right, you did some jerk shit.
That don't make sense.
Especially when it comes to having an influential platform. This is not the time to tell people not to vote for Kamala Harris. Yeah, I think a lot of people did not like that because you feel some kind of way about Gaza and Israel. Well, what's funny about that is she didn't really blame it on Gaza and Israel. She was like, she's not talking to black people in America, but at the same time being like, she invited me to the White House, I talked to her. It was just like a weird rambly thing. But yeah, not to say we don't have empathy for that situation or because you don't feel Kamala did enough for black folks, even though she has. It's just dangerous. It's just too dangerous of a time. We really only have two options for our country. Yeah, basically. My Steve or my Miss T says, I'm listening on Spotify as I usually do while working. The way I paused that voicemail and ran to YouTube. My raggedy ass cousin acting like they're new here. LOL. Don't do Apia like that. We family and that's on period. Come on back over here to the introverts table. We playing a quietly aggressive game of spades and rolling our eyes at our more vocal cousins, but that's
not quietly aggressive. Just smacking cards on the table, ain't saying shit.
Sayida says, I for one appreciate and look forward to what Opia has to say. Olivia says, I look forward to what Opia has to say. She has become a staple of the show. I think that voicemail was nasty and uncalled for. Hope Opia's feelings weren't hurt by the caller's opinion. They were hurt. But you know what? That's what y'all's comments do to help. You know, I think letting somebody know like this ain't real. Like maybe this person got an issue with you and they really did like that might be real, but that is not all of reality. A lot of people don't agree with that person. JV City says great breakdowns and blends. Thank you. All right. The poll for this episode was, do you think Chaperone gives a fuck? And 57% said yes, 43% said no. That was very interesting poll because I would have.
She cares a lot.
I would have bet $100 it would have been 100% yes.
She cares a lot, and the reason why I said she cares, her action shows that she cares. Because if she did not care, you know what? No concerts would have been canceled. She wouldn't have made no clapback online and be like, I'm voting for fucking Kamala. She wouldn't have done any of that shit. She'd have went on with her happy white going life and went on about her business and said, you know, and she wouldn't even have to say it is what it is. The comments would have been out there and she would have just moved on. And everybody literally would have moved on. Yeah, you'd have had a percentage of people that would have been upset about it. And a percentage of people that would have stopped fucking with her. But you fucking with your money, so you care.
Oh my God, can you stop talking, Karen? Jesus. I'm trying to do a podcast solely about me and my opinions only. Just basically a solo show with just a woman happen to be on screen at the same time.
Bitches be talking.
What is going on with these opinions?
Women got all these opinions, all these words taking up space. How dare you and your vagina come in here flapping with opinions?
As your husband, don't you realize I hate you? And every time you talk, more hate is seething inside of me. That's not my face of listening. Clearly, it's a murderous face of murderous intent. What aren't you understanding? I've been trying to teach you for 3,000 episodes that I hate you.
Why am I here then? Please. If you hate me,
stop talking and stop contributing to the show.
Stop giving your opinion. Damn, bitch. Damn. Are you happy now?
Oh, man. But no, I agree. I think to me, it's so obvious. Chaperone gives a fuck a lot. Mm-hmm. She canceled a real life show because of the internet.
I'll be damned if I fuck up my money because y'all said something on the goddamn internet.
And fucked up everybody else's money too. Like, yeah, I don't know, dog. She care a lot, but maybe y'all fans of hers and don't want her to care. Or maybe y'all might see that as an insult. Or like, she actually doesn't even really care about this, but I think she cares a lot about what people think. 2990 stars, bars, and hard R's got 4 comments. DJ says, when y'all was talking about the British commentary in football, this video reminded me of that, and it's bad British NFL commentary. All right.
Talking about soccer, I'm assuming.
No.
Oh, American
NFL
football.
said
okay.
NFL.
It's the Super Bowl Cup final.
Oh wait, they're gonna get an echo now. You know, I think y'all will get an echo in the chat. Off to see if this fixes it.
America's prom night. Look at the blue team. There's thousands of them. This is sports equivalent of a wildebeest.
They said the blue team. I'm like, damn, you need
migration. And some bloke out for his morning jog has got mixed up with them. That will happen. Blimey, there's so many players. These fellas are employed just to do the coin toss. They look suspiciously at the object in his hand, unsure whether or not this is a trick. Brian Stork Rookie, must be a double-barreled name. He's caught having a poo and dances his way out of it. Make sure you're all wearing...
That's hilarious.
That is good.
And some bloke, probably some trainer was running them beside them. That's hilarious.
The strength guy.
Right. There's some dude look like he's doing a trick. That's hilarious.
Let's see. Shoe Booty says, that fake dentist story is wow. How do you set up a whole practice in the U.S. without a license? Thinking about the logistics of purchasing equipment, materials, medication, etc., don't you need a license to even order that kind of stuff? Right?
You do.
He must have been on motherfucking eBay like a motherfucker. I can't even go to Sally Beauty Shop and buy pro stuff without a beautician's license. So how come dentistry items aren't more regulated than hair dye? Right? Out here freestyling on our teeth. Evie E says, Cheryl Hines reminds me of a character on the show called Community whose famous quote is, I can excuse Allison. I think it was Allison. I can excuse racism, but I draw the line at animal cruelty. Yes, that's one of my favorite lines. Cheryl is one of those white women who look the other way at all the other batshit crazy things her husband did, but when people start calling her out, that's when she seems to start caring. Fuck her. Yeah, I'll never understand it. I just don't. I don't know if it's a race thing. I don't know if it's a privilege thing, a money thing. I do not know how people marry people like that, where they claim to stand for the opposite. Either you really do agree with them and you just lied to us as the public, like, no, I don't agree with that shit. Or you really think those things are just differences of opinion and not important. And I don't know how that happens. And I can't really feel too bad that this serial cheater is cheating on your ass again. Like, that's what he do. I'm surprised there haven't been more arrests for the veneer technicians. TikTok is rife with people advertising veneers for $1,000 less or $1,000 or less, and it's usually done in someone's basement, or they'll come to your house to do them, and the customers always end up looking like Matt Dillon in There's Something About Mary.
$1,000 for veneers, dog.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything can't be Walmart. It come to your health. It come to your teeth, like your eyes. It's certain things you don't. But like this, you actually don't want the discount. Like you know, they be like, we got it for the low. No, can I play the regular ass price? They was like, but we no. I whatever the what is it? The market suggested retail price. That's what I want.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, and teeth is something I think you want to pay for.
You want to pay for that shit.
Yeah, I think you might want a warranty on them teeths, bro.
Right, because if
you're not getting another, like you're not just those don't grow on trees.
Right. If anything, it's about your safety. You know, nobody cares about what kind of surgery you getting. It's about your safety and your health.
Yeah, y'all gonna end up like the BBL people dying in basements and shit. And it's like,
they better.
I didn't even know you could die from a blood clot in your tooth. It's like you absolutely can, but you're not supposed to because it's supposed to be a professional.
Yeah, when somebody puts cement there instead of whatever's supposed to be there, you gonna have a problem.
Yeah, you just gonna be in the basement sounding like that dude from Goonies and shit.
Yeah, you don't want
Baby
that.
Roof. And the kicker is people advertise classes for becoming a tech, and it takes less than a week to get your certification in quotes.
Bitch, a week.
I've seen follow-ups where they end up fucking these people's teeth up so bad that people get really bad infections, can't eat, lose all their teeth. Yep. One guy had to have his jawbone removed. These so-called techs need to be under the jail, but honestly part of the blame lies with the people who purchase the services. There's no fucking way I'm going to a service called Teeth by Tasha. You are asking for problems.
Not Teeth by Tasha.
When you walk in there and they doing teeth and braids,
it's a problem. Teeth and weaves.
Right. It's like, yeah, we do. We sell ribs. We sell molars, incisors.
Come on.
And I can get you a burner phone if you give me enough time. Just go and have a seat, nephew.
Right. Yeah, but what bill you trying to pay? We cover AT&T.
Right.
Verizon.
They putting teeth in y'all mouths with a cigarette hanging out their mouth.
Right.
Like, oh, now see that right there, boy, that ain't nothing but some bicuspids. Now see, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. What they tell you at the dentist? They told you it was gonna be about $1,500. Nah, it ain't gonna be no $1,500. What I'm gonna need you to do, go down and get you 2 bicuspids from Lowe's, and then I'm gonna put them in for you. I'm only gonna charge you the labor. You know, you pay for the parts, and then you give me a 24-pack of Miller High Life. I'm gonna take care of you for your nephew. I'm gonna get them teeth fixed up.
Come on, but what you in here for? The Western Union line to the right, the teeth line to the left.
Right.
The fuck is this?
The teeth and check cash in place.
Yes.
Right. Oh man.
Remember, we take 5% of your check, people. Don't be cheap. If you don't want 5% of your check taken, you need to go on somewhere else.
Now after you get these teeth, don't forget to stop down by the kitchen. My mama selling $5 barbecue plates. Okay, go on get you some. Catfish plate $10. So you put the new teeth to work. Now let the super glue cool before you do that. Don't just hop straight out the chair. We had some problems with that last time.
You should know when something walk in there and everybody behind bulletproof glass.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. You gotta walk past somebody, grandmama watching Oprah and to get your motherfucking teeth. That's not right.
Right, kids running around and shit because there's a slash daycare too.
Ain't no magazines in the lobby because it's they den.
Right, it ain't even lit well.
Right, this is old Black Tail magazines.
I ain't walking over kids' toys and shit.
Get out of here.
Right,
y'all really, I can't believe the shit I be reading. Anyway, let's get to the YouTube comments on this one. We got 4 comments. Alexandra says the judge should have added time for wasting our tax dollars with her bad attitude. I know it's not right, but these Trumpers are so annoying. They're so prideful when it comes to being a criminal. Nah, go to prison. I do think it's right when the judge do that. Like whenever the judge is like, oh, you not taking it serious? Then I'm not taking it serious. Not in more days. Shix B says, I used to see Sir Major Page in the hood grocery store. I would go there to get fat back coincidentally. Mike, and that's the guy who was doing veneers. Mike Tom Will says, I love the sloppy history facts tangent. Rod and Karen are great at riffing. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I just be wanting to shut the fuck up. So I don't even know what they be riffing about. S. Carter Thomas says, Karen's interjections during the Black Lives Matter conviction segment. Chef's kiss emoji.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. The poll was, have you ever had hardtack or salt pork?
Neither one.
Me neither. 60% said no. which means 40% of people have had something. So,
how old are y'all? Not trying to be fun. I ain't, y'all in your 70s, 80s, or did your grandma make you take it? Because I claim if you of a certain age, you're like, the fuck is this?
Did you take it? Did you take it with you when you were working as a porter on the railroad?
Right? Did you take it while you were picking cotton? The fuck is this?
Did you wrap it in an old piece of cloth and put it in a tin foil box?
Right out there at the Revolutionary War. Come on now, tell the truth.
Hardtack and salt pork. Come on, man. That's not on any restaurant menu.
No, it's not.
You can't hardtack and salt pork in motherfucking 2024, man. If you pull that shit out at the motherfucking if you go like someone come down your house for a dinner party, you pull out salt pork and hardtack, they gonna leave.
They're gonna be like, the fuck is this?
If your child bring that to school for lunch, social services will come by your house.
Yeah, they be like, why is you feeding your baby this brick? They ain't gonna know what it is. They be like, you trying to kill your kid.
That's beyond a struggle meal. They gonna have to like, is everything okay at your home? Are they feeding you? What is this?
Do y'all need social services of food stamps? Let us know so we can go ahead and get this started for you. Cause no, baby, you ain't supposed to be eating this.
6% of y'all have had hardtack and salt pork. Are you going to Civil War reunion reenactments?
Gotta be. We want to be authentic with it.
Right.
In the uniforms.
What are y'all? Y'all visiting the James K. Polk plantation or some shit? What are y'all doing?
Right. Y'all making bars of soap and shit.
2% of y'all have had hardtack. And 32% have had salt pork. So I guess salt pork must still be around.
Yeah.
It's still on these streets.
I guess hardtack went out of style.
Hardtack said, I'm out of here. But salt pork said, we going to find a way or make a way. All right, let's go to the next segment. And I'm sorry, YouTube people, I got to play some music that y'all will probably hate. But it is what it is at this point. Tony said Jonathan Majors eats salt pork, and I agree.
I believe it.
You could convince me of that. Episode 2991, you can't kill a friend, TM. 6 comments. Let's get into them. DJ says, Bear Dr. Umar, we don't need polar bears paperwork. Ronan Raphael, I was ready to comment about the cocaine, then the Holy Bears took over. I laughed so hard I completely forgot my latest hustle. Dang, that was really good. Give me some more Bear Dr. Umar. DJ Java says, unbearable. Karen almost choked on my food. Hilarious. Sean says, I could barely bear your Ursine pun run. I was about to be Ursa out laughing on the public train. Then you kept going. I mean, I don't think I'm a qualified to add anything. Ted A. Sending y'all digital bear hug. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Sean. EV says, I think Kamala is doing amazing for going on a non-traditional media interviews, and the mainstream media is pissed.
Yeah, they are.
Why would she go where her audience is? The fact that they have a problem with her going on Call Her Daddy, but is I think it's Call Her Daddy, but is radio silent about Dump going on Andrew Schultz podcast is exactly why she's paying them dust in the first place. Yeah, they don't say anything about whatever Trump does with his whenever he does something that's unorthodox, they act like it only works in his favor. So they're like, oh, Trump went on a podcast, so smart, so savvy. Kamala Harris goes on the podcast. Why isn't she doing an interview on 60 Minutes? Oh, she did that too? Why isn't she only doing interviews on 60 Minutes, you know? Speaking of Dump, I saw a clip where Schultz laughed in his face when he said it was a truthful place. I guess Schultz is an asshole to all his guests, but Dump won't push back because his favorite target is women. I hate that orange motherfucker so much. I didn't watch a single one of those clips because I feel like I'd just be doing them the favor.
And actually, I do not care. And I listened to The Daily, and they was basically talking about that, and they were talking to news people, and they actually, brought up the fact that people were hating, on that. And one of the person was like, Yeah, talking about they hating on it, but it was like
Hating on what?
They were hating on the fact that she was doing non-traditional stuff
Kamala.
versus coming, coming to them, and they was like, yeah, a lot of it is jealousy and things like that because they feel like they deserve quote unquote access to her, but you have to actually go out and reach the people that you otherwise wouldn't reach. Because it's going to be close, so you can't be fucking around. Don't nobody got time to be talking to they're basically singing to the choir. Going on traditional media is so much singing to the choir sometimes.
I also think that she's doing the race her way, and honestly, that's the only way to run the fucking race.
Agreed.
Everybody got a fucking opinion. None of these motherfuckers know what they talking about. None of them have won an election or lost an election.
All right.
And at the end of the day, she's gonna get the blame if they lose, no matter what. So if you think doing some things differently is what will help, do them, because y'all were hating on the traditional shit that Joe Biden was doing. Nobody liked that. It wasn't good enough. We were going to lose. She comes in, she's raised more money than anyone's ever raised in the history of a candidate, and she's done it in a shorter period of time than anyone's ever done it in the history of a candidate.
That's going to be studied.
Maybe y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, and y'all's misgivings and personal grudges and gripes are yours, and they're gonna be there no matter what. It doesn't really matter what the fuck happens. You're gonna always be bitching and complaining about something, and at this point I just am not giving a lot of credence to it. It's like, okay, so you mad again, congrats.
You always mad.
I understand the bigger picture, even when it comes to myself. Like, we'll talk about it tomorrow, I'm sure, but Obama had a viral moment doing some like talking to black men that were for Harris, and he kind of had some scoldy comments that went viral about it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow why I don't appreciate the like scolding tone, because it always makes it sound like this media narrative that black men are like somehow like we're white men or something, like we're like 40% of us only vote Democrat when it's 80% at the worst, and most of the time it's 90%, so 9 out of 10 voting black men vote Democrat. So having Obama get up there and say like basically like, and I'm seeing y'all not be as enthusiastic, it is kind of like, come on, man. Like that's not what's happening. I understand there's some prominent dissenting voices, but just say that, or there was a way to frame this as, hey, y'all are the right guys. Y'all are here. You're supporting Kamala Harris for president. You wanted to hear me talk. Here's what I will bring up. Let's take these tools and go out into our communities and fight against the ignorant of that last 8 to 15% of black men who are trying to be holdouts, who are trying to vote for Trump. Let's go educate them. I think that's a much more thorough message that will reach a lot more people than just, hey, y'all got to do better. Y'all not doing good enough, right? Anyway, my point being, I went on Twitter. I saw all these people doing long ass threads and bitching about it. Not saying that those black men's emotions don't matter. Not saying it don't count. Not saying they're not valid. But I personally don't really give a fuck. Bigger picture, I still think we need to do what we need to do and vote for Kamala Harris. That's it. It really is like the same way that I get on this podcast and I'm like, yo, if your issue is Israel and Palestine, you need to be voting for the Democrat because they will be better even if they're not the best.
And they will listen to you.
Even if they're not perfect to you,
Agreed.
They will do better than Trump will do.
Yes.
And I sit up here and I say that, and I'm like, I take the emotion out of it. Okay, well, this nigga is yelling at black men. That's me. Right? I'm one. He's directly saying something about the demographic I exist in and being like, y'all ain't doing enough, which is not factual. Like, it's not true that we're some like this ragtag, ne'er-do-well ass group of people. We are actually voting, and we're voting at the second highest clip for Democrats. Definitely far and beyond for men. And no one's fussing at anyone else. No one's trying to get the 6 to 8% of black women in line that's not voting. No one's gonna frame that narrative. We know that our sisters aren't Candace Owens, right? No one's gonna go at Latino men who, once again, still don't vote as high as black men do. No one's gonna go at Asian men. No one's definitely gonna go at white men or the biggest demographic, white women, which is the main reason. If you could just win white women, you never lose. No one's gonna talk to them with disrespect. No one's gonna come at them and yell at them. So I understand there's a weird double standard happening and I don't like it. That being said, I ain't really about to spend no time yelling about the shit. I'm over it. Cool, you said what you said. Peace. You know what I mean? Like I don't like it. Noted. Moving the fuck on. The bigger point is the win, and it's always gonna be the bigger point to me. A personal gripe is not enough for me to risk the fucking election on.
Ain't that the truth?
So yeah, I don't have to like every moment, but I still stand on. And it's not. I saw one of my friends doing this long rant, and he was talking about how like it's people that make a certain amount of money and they just want institutions to stay the same and they want their kids to go to school. And I don't have kids. It's not about just institutions and shit. It's not selfishness. Even though I don't think anything's wrong with being selfish about your vote in this election. It's your vote. So if you want to be selfish, be selfish. But that's not why I'm doing it. I just legitimately think the country would be better off under Kamala Harris than it will under Trump.
Yes, sir.
It really just don't.
It's that simple to me. The rest of it is yada, 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 yada.
And I mean it.
Right.
And the only point I'm raising here is even when it's black men, I mean it. It's not just that's because they're not talking about you. They talking about me now. Okay, I'm still gonna be there early voting on the 17th. I'll see you guys, and we're gonna get this thing handled.
And the same. Like I said, I'm similar to you. I do understand how people feel. I do understand people gripe. I do understand for some people it's a trope, type of thing.
Yeah, and it's easy because most of the people talking have never had it done to their demographic, so they don't feel anything. Like they don't know what this feels like. Essentially. Where like the guy that everybody looks up to as a presidential figure and an established black man is choosing the stick, not the carrot, for your specific demographic. And his call to fame is that he's a carrot over the stick guy, meaning even when it's a Republican, even when it's racist people, he'll find a way to be like, well, hold on. They're humans. Let's show them some empathy. We're not going to win over. They disagree, but we're not going to win over their vote by just yelling at them. Except when it's the black man, then it's like, we can yell at y'all niggas. And so, yeah, I get why people feel a way about it. I'm not saying anything that, I don't think I'm saying anything controversial to be like, yeah, he definitely did that different to us than he would with someone else. Mm-hmm. And all that being said, no, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like a thing that's going to change anything for my voting. It's not going to change the way I feel about this election. I've been saying there's bigger shit to fry than that for the whole time, and this can't change that. Anyway, Suave P writes in, imagine my delight when I heard Rod and Karen discussing the Fat Bear Week incident. Watching the Bears of Brooks Falls catch salmon live on YouTube is one of my guilty pleasures. The salmon run usually starts in June and July. The Bears congregate at this famous spot to feed up on salmon before going into hibernation. The Fat Bear Week contest is basically viewers like me voting on which bear got the fattest over the course of the month. They feed on the salmon. The incident on the bear violence shook the bear watching community. They are not handling it very well. Not me though. I respect the bears for what they are. Wild and dangerous animals.
Ain't that the truth? They bears. The bears gonna bear.
So incidents like this, while still shocking, is not beyond the realm of possibility for me. The Grizzly event was captured live on the webcam, so folks saw the killing in real time. The people in the bear community bear watching YouTube community who gave the bears nicknames and think they're cuddly cute stuffed animals are probably seeking therapy at the moment. Just wanted to give a little context to the story while acknowledging my appreciation for hearing the story be discussed by the Blackout Tips. A pleasant surprise, Suave. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the bears. The poll, not the poll, comments on YouTube, 2 comments. Rashad says the finest of milks, laughing emoji. I forget who I said that about, but I always like that. That is always funny to me, to call some white people some milks. Jason says, why do we need polar bear paperwork? That was a pretty popular line. Could have been titled of the show. The poll was, do you party? Yes, cocaine, or no?
No.
98% of our audience does not party. 2.2% says yes, cocaine. So shout out to that 2%.
Y'all be safe out there with the cocaine now.
Okay, enjoy yourselves, but not too much.
Definitely not too much. You got to come back.
A Barrier of Bad News is the last episode of the week. And I forgot to hit the record button because I've been recording these things a little differently. So there's no replay on Crowdcast of this episode, but you can watch it on YouTube, but not the actual video. It's just, I just put up the audio in video form.
Okay.
Sorry. Himdale says, so Earl is the official clothing of the Black Guy Who Tips community now the camouflage? Just want to know because I have no outfits and will need to head to Walmart otherwise. Also, should we refer to Karen as Emma Sue once she gets her camouflage get together? Also, are we afford a Chevy community for clarity? I don't know which one is better when we roll up to them polling stations cause blasting Nuck if you buck. I'll say Chevy. Which incidentally feels like it should be the official voting song for the podcast. Also, on a really random note, I didn't know till your story about beating the fellas in 2K. It wasn't 2K. It was NCAA, whatever year I was in college, like in 2000, 2001, whatever. Anyway, but I did beat people in 2K as well. I don't have a story about that as much. Actually, you know, my story about playing NBA 2K, I had a Dreamcast, so the NBA 2K was literally light years better than NBA Live.
It was
from the time it came out to now, and but nobody was playing it. It was like branding. It was like iPhones and Android. Like you could say the Dreamcast is the Android. You could say it's better in every way. It don't really matter if don't nobody want to play it with you.
Right.
It is what it is. And this is before like a lot of internet, like online playing. So basically, if you couldn't come to my dorm and play me in one of these games, I was playing by myself. Anyway, so people would come by, they play NBA 2K, they see me playing it, and to a man, they'd all enjoy it for a little bit, and then I would start whooping up on them because I'm the one that's playing all the time.
Right.
And then they'd be like, man, fuck this, I'm playing NBA Live. So that's my only story about 2K. Anyway. There is no was because there. Okay, so fellas. Okay, I guess I was a Sega guy, and more importantly, the owner of one of the best systems that ever was. Ahead of his time, the Dreamcast. You both are wonderful. Oh yeah. I'm a dream. We both are Dreamcast people. Mm-hmm. Stood in line at the mall and everything.
We did was a KB Toys. I don't even know if they fucking exist anymore. We was at the mall. I don't even know if that mall exists anymore. Down there in Fayetteville, standing in line. That was back then. We used to stand in line at midnight.
Yep. Sean says, as someone who has migraines, cluster headaches, 83 days was my record, and a wide range of other headaches, I had not heard of this use of vibrators for headache release. I mean, I knew that orgasms could reduce headache severity and duration for some individuals. However, there may be an inverse effect. But putting the vibrator on your head, who would have thunk it? Also, two of the only known ways to prevent and stop migraines and cluster headaches, LSD and psilocybin, are currently illegal for no goddamn reason. And the most effective drug for pain relief of headaches, THC, is illegal here in Japan. My headaches aren't as bad as they used to be, but this fucked up war on drugs, and that started because some white asshole didn't want Billie Holiday singing about lynching and spreading like a cancer across the world, like a cancer needs to goddamn end. I want headache relief, and that means I need LSD and psilocybin to be legal. Weed would be nice too. Sorry, that was slightly tangential, but I may have some feelings on the topic. EVE says, even though the Coach CBS interview was out of pocket and the network called the guy out for it, they could have kept it because I doubt nothing's going to happen to that dude unless he comes on air and issues a public apology himself or is removed from that slot. I think the network only said something because of the backlash. That man also owes the two black women he overtalked to an apology too. The lady who damaged the Crown Chicken first mistake was going to Crown Chicken in the first place. That chicken is dried in a Popeye's biscuit.
I've heard nothing but bad things about Crown's Chicken.
Damn. We got comments on YouTube. Arrow says shoots at my own name and workplace. You work at Crown's Chicken? Kiki says, when you talked about the venues, the part that's left out is Live Nation owned venues at every scale in both big and small cities. Live Nation also owns some of the acts, so they cannot go to non-Live Nation venues. To add insult to injury, they take from every part of your tour in a way that makes it impossible to tour and make money. We are stuck in a monopoly and we need government action. And Shix B says, Pearl Jam tried to warn them.
Yes, years ago, I remember, and at the time I didn't understand because I was younger. But yeah, they went to Congress. They was like, "Hey, y'all, this Live Nation is some bullshit. We worked too hard for them to be taking our money." They was like, "Hey, y'all, tickets price gonna go up," and this is like literally decades ago, like probably 20 years ago or more. They was like, "Hey, y'all, this is gonna be a problem." Everybody laughed them. Not trying funny, laughed them off, and I know they was like, "Bitch, we was right."
Yep. Trey says, I was wondering what was going on with the Crowdcast replay. Yeah, my bad. My mom says, you do the back squat and wear camouflage. Did that shit with 10 toes down. And my mom said, damn, Karen, it's the folding chair. The poll was, have you ever driven a delivery order back to the restaurant? I'm pretty sure I have.
Yes, I have.
19% has, basically 81% has not. So that's your poll.
I don't remember if we picked it up or delivery, but one time we had ordered like some Chinese or something and got like the wrong size or something like that. And I sure enough did. I got in my car and drove my ass right on back up there. It was like, hey. They was like, my bad, here's one twice as big. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we definitely had to do some stuff before. Let's get to the voicemails. Once again, some loud, noisy music that y'all will hate on YouTube. All right, let's get to these voicemails. Looks like we got 5 of them.
Okay.
Hey, Rod and Karen, it's Nikki. Just catching up on shows. One of the episodes from the week before, you guys, Rod, you talked about going to the grocery store and then asking too many questions. The dispensary I go to, there's this one chick who works there. She's going to have a whole life conversation with you, ask you a whole bunch of questions. It's like, ma'am, I'm just here to get my edibles and go home. I don't want to tell you what I'm doing this weekend. You already know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fucking relax. So, yeah. And then listening to, I think it will be Sunday's episode, talking about the Veneer guy. So he's working in the healthcare field. There's actually a lot. That's actually a really big thing right now where people are pretending to be dentists and stuff to get people veneers. And like they be on Groupon, you get your teeth done in the back of the nail salon and all that stuff. So I'm not surprised. It's like a really big crackdown right now, and 90% of the time they black. So yeah, there's a whole world out there of people trying to give you fix your teeth, no type of fucking training. Well, I'm on my morning walk, trying to get this exercise in. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you. Congrats. I mean, good luck on the exercise and all that stuff. That's dope. And I had no idea about this veneer shit.
I didn't know it was an epidemic.
Yeah, I did not know, and I didn't know it was a mostly black thing either. But
I mean, I don't need veneers, but if I ever need veneers, trust, I'm not going to nobody's Groupon. We not gonna be in the back of the Lowe's. We not doing none of that shit. I need a doctor's with a PhD. I need to put like this. I need to be able to go on my insurance and type your name up, and your name should pop up on that list.
I need to know you didn't learn that shit on Instagram.
Right.
Okay. Like even with I've seen Groupons that I would do like a LASIK maybe, but like you can verify that person is optometrist or whatever the fuck. This just sound like y'all going off vibes.
Right. If I come in there, bitch, we cash only, we got problems.
Ro.
Hi, Rob and Karen. This is Ro. Just wanted to talk about the feedback episode where you brought up Amanda Seales and her comments about Issa Rae, specifically the interaction she had with a cast member on Insecure, or part of the crew who didn't appreciate being called the N-word by her. One of the great things about your show is that you guys always show us such a different perspective on something that everyone has almost the same view on. And I know for me, I was very sympathetic to Amanda Seales during that Shannon Sharp interview because they sort of brought in her childhood and how she was rejected and all of that stuff, with the whole, child actor thing. And that really set me on the road to be really on her side. And I never thought about it, even though I would have thought about it myself personally. Can you, can you imagine why somebody wouldn't want to be called the N-word? Can you imagine what could have happened to them or a family member why they wouldn't be wanted to be called the N-word? But she's incapable of that, and I gave her a pass because I felt bad. And I think this reminds me of something from so many shows ago where you talk about the flying monkey. Rod had read a book that talked about the flying monkey effect on social media, and I've been so mindful about myself on the media and in social media not falling into that trap of attacking anyone or supporting a cause because somebody's given me a very specific view of something and told me, to go forth and conquer. And I didn't know exactly why your interpretation of that interview hit me so well until we revisited it during the feedback.
Yeah, it's interesting. So first of all, thank you for calling. Yes, it's so interesting because, like I said, I work from empathy backwards to get to a place where I can draw like a boundary between this is reality and this is what is happening. I can have empathy for somebody and still feel like, yeah, but what you're doing is not right. And especially people that heavily prey on people's empathy. That is what a lot of narcissists do. Yes. That's one of the reasons that you find that a lot of narcissist victims are empaths, are people who are naturally inclined to be to always want to give somebody a fair chance or to empathize so much with their emotional state that they leave the logic out of it. It's like someone coming in and saying, I hurt my hand. You're going to go get the bandages and wrap their hand. But if they tell you, I hurt my hand by punching an innocent old lady in the face, that changes. It doesn't change their hand hurts. It doesn't change they need medical care, but it should change something in you about what your action should be going forward regarding that person. And if they hurt their hand every day, you just start, some people, and they just go, my hand hurt. Some people just start going, this person's hand hurts all the time. I feel sorry for them. So whatever happened, whatever they say, I'm just going to leave it alone. Well, the rest of the neighborhood's walking around with black eyes I keep getting hit in the face by this person. And we're like, but what did you do wrong? I mean, the person, they didn't tell us that. They said they punched you in the face because, things are da-da-da. So I think what happens is a lot of people can't hold both things at the same time. So you just go with what this person told me is true is the only way to look at it. They got to the internet first. And I now am responsible to not like this shit, not like these people that they don't like too. That's how I have their back. But it's not really it's not really the thing. And then Shannon Sharp's show is one of, come on, give the most self-centered version of the truth. And I'm not saying it for her, I'm saying for everyone that goes on there. Shannon don't challenge anything. He doesn't really, the amount of research that him and his crew do is always patted on the back, meaning the people that show up don't expect him to do any research. You see what I'm saying? So when he's like, what about that time you did this album? They like, oh, you looked that up? That's not really much of a compliment. That's really I didn't expect you to look up anything I'm talking about. So all that to say, that is the place for that. But I think people forget that Club Shay Shay is the place for the most self-centered version of everyone's truth. And so we just start walking around this is this is the truth. No need to ask anyone else. Anybody they don't like, we just gonna assume that person's wrong and the person that went on Shay Shay is right. And I just think it's a fucked up way to navigate the world. You need to be a little bit more discerning, because if someone goes on a show and they have 3 hours worth of problems with other people, at some point it's well, what is your role in this? If I had to do a podcast and they was like, can you talk for 3 hours about everybody that's wronged you? it would have to be because I'm taking like an hour on each one or some shit. It wouldn't be because I got 3 hours worth of motherfuckers I can keep bringing up. I don't give like that's crazy. I don't have that much. But anyway, point being, I understand the empathy. I understand why it happens, but that narcissist and social monkey thing is real through social media. We've done an episode or two on this show years ago where I talked about I read up on narcissism, and I said, you know what? Tell me the tools on social media are not the same as the tools that narcissists use to on people. I can literally show you the shunning of people, all of that stuff, the harassment of people, the like all of that stuff, and I've seen it in action. Once I saw it in action, I can't unsee it. So
agree.
I feel you on that, and I'm glad that at least I gave you another perspective. We give you another perspective on that, because I do think people run with shit, and I see otherwise smart, thoughtful people just being like, well, there you go, that's the answer. And I'm like, no, now just imagine for a second you're on the other side.
Right.
Just that's all you gotta do. If you've ever had anyone ever lie on you, which me and Karen have had a few times at this point, if you've ever had someone publicly just fucking lie on you, there's an anger inside of you, but there's also a level of there's a level you realize there's nothing I can do about it.
Agreed.
And at the end of the day, a person that's willing to believe those liars is already getting the worst impact, because a liar is a thief of time. And if you stay alive long enough and they stay alive long enough, the people that were lied to about our character, they'll see it. They'll see how we handle shit, and they'll see the character of the person that lied on us. And it's gonna break the veneer the same way. No joke, no pun intended. The same way the cracks broke for us, where we were like, "Oh, this person's full of shit." They're gonna see it too, and you just gotta live in that. That's it. That's all you get. You don't need to try to prove them wrong. And so when I see people like, say, Issa Rae in this case, but also many other people she has problems with, who just don't go back and forth with her, I don't go, "Oh, that's because she's right." I go, I identify more with those people than I do with the people that just go back and forth with people like this all day. I've had to sit down a few times and been like, if people want to believe that bullshit, they just gonna believe it.
Right.
But if they can't see the work I'm doing, the way I carry myself, and the stuff I'm talking about, if they can't see I'm handling things the best of my abilities, then I don't know what to tell them. If they're gonna believe this person is always having problems with everybody else, and they're gonna throw me in the group too, then I guess that's what they want.
Right, and there's nothing you can do to prove them otherwise. And the thing about flying monkeys, we kind of talked about this before, anybody can be subjected to being a flying monkey and not be aware of it at the time. It's almost like you almost have to understand what it is to understand if you are participating in it or not. Because the thing about flying monkeys, a lot of times people always associate that with social media, but people in like your everyday to day real life will treat you as a flying monkey and you not even know it, with rumors and lies and shit like that, like, you know, but people don't look at it from that particular perspective. And the thing about it, when it comes to flying monkeys, everybody's being benefited. The narcissistic person is being benefited by everybody giving them their undivided attention all the time, and the flying monkeys are benefiting from it because, not trying to be funny, and I can group myself in this category. A lot of people love and enjoy and like to be told what to do. They don't like to think, you know, because the thing about the narcissists don't want you to think. They don't want you to analyze their actions. They want you to be all wrapped up and so tied up in your emotions that everything they say is true and everything everybody else says is false. And the second you start analyzing and saying, hey, something about this don't feel right, all of a sudden you have to be kicked out of the group. You no longer can't be here, because what they can't have you doing is contaminating the other people around you and actually making them realize that this person is full of shit and all of y'all are being used. Then all of a sudden, guess what? That long list of people, you're on that list too now, and you don't understand why. And then these same people that you were flying with, all of a sudden are flying at you, and then all of a sudden you have an understanding and you have your eyes will begin to open up like, oh, this person was full of shit the whole time. But the thing about it, while you're flying, guess what? You can't see the ground. You're so high up, you don't see the reality of what's happening on the ground. That's part of the trick. And as somebody who can easily be persuaded to be a flying monkey, you have to be aware of that stuff. You have to be cognizant. You know, think about that stuff. You have to challenge these things. When these things come at you, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, is my response something that's genuinely mine? or is my response based off of somebody else? Do I care enough? Does whatever I'm about to respond with, does this impact me? How important is this? Will I care about this in 24, 72 to 48 hours? Is this life or death? Because the thing about it, that you will consistently be in a panic mode, because that person's in a panic mode and they pass their panic along. So if you're not in a panic mode, to their mind, what are you doing? So you have to analyze this, because this shit will, and I've been a witness of it, and been on the other side of it. It will fucking impact your life. Your personality will change. People around you be like, something's wrong with you. Before you know it, you're accusing everybody of shit. You're accusing them of not being faithful to you, because it spreads like a disease. When people fail to realize that, and all of a sudden you are like them. You're isolated, don't got no friends, don't got no family. There's something wrong with everybody around them, and all of a sudden you become not only a victim, you become a perpetrator too, and don't even realize it.
Yeah, can't say it better. I think I think that flying monkey thing is so serious, and a lot of people are prone to it.
Yes.
And the internet gave people a lot of access to monkeys, but essentially potential flying monkeys. And once you've seen that weaponized on somebody or had it weaponized on you, you'll never be the same.
No,
because
you will not.
For me, it's like, oh no. Nobody just gets a pass of years and years of years being the center of grievance, and I'm just supposed to be like, well, clearly they're just a good person and everybody else is bad. Nah. All right, next voicemail.
Hey y'all, it's Jen. I don't know if you're having a feedback show this week, but hopefully you're getting some much needed rest, and if you don't have a show this week, then we'll hear this next week. I just wanted to comment on your election coverage of this media blitz, as they're calling it. I'm super excited that she's doing this. These unconventional interviews, I think that's the wave. I agree with you that it's similar to Obama's campaign, where they're going off the beaten path and reaching people where they are, meeting people where they are. It's super smart. I think she's becoming more comfortable with every interview. I also just wanted to say that I'm so glad that all these critiques that we thought were going unheard in the first Trump election are finally being heard. Like that 60 Minutes roast right before they introduced her interview, I was like, yes, this is what we need. Obviously they're left leaning, but like this is what we need for media. Like this admission that the way that Trump is doing things is completely absurd. I'm so glad that we're starting to get just a little bit of that. I think we deserve that. And then I also wanted to say that I don't know if this is just how the court system works and when the timing ended up being, but people like Miss Tina Peters, who are getting arrested for 9 years, thank God, the timing of it feels really good, because it's like, oh, if you're trying to do this shit again in 2024, this is what your future is going to be. It might take us a few years to get there, but you will go to jail. So I'm really grateful that things are kind of starting to come to light. I'm still getting the word out, trying to vote. Obviously some absentee ballot to North Carolina, because I know y'all need it. I'm doing my part, but I'm optimistic, more optimistic, and we'll see what happens. All right, talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Jen. And couldn't agree more. We got 3 voicemails from somebody I don't know that left us at like 1 in the morning. So
we're about
fingers
to see.
crossed.
Hey, Karen and Rod, it's Lavetta. I meant to call last week, but I just got so busy here. But I was calling this. So this is about one of the topics, or 2 of the topics from last week. First one, Netflix, saying that after one of their executives endorsed Kamala Harris and donated money, that subscribership dropped and they lost a lot of subscribers. I'm calling BS on the reason for that, because them mother suckers just had a rate increase last month, my birthday month, to basically 95% of what I was paying before. So I don't know if other people feeling that, but it freaking made me mad, because basically they're asking me to pay double for the same stuff. I'm one of those people who signed up for Netflix back in the day, never stopped, and then restarted and all this other stuff, and this is how they repay us. And then they were slick about it, talking about, oh, we're offering it in a new version. And I read online, they were like, oh yeah, because if they technically give you something new, they don't have to honor the grandfather clause. So they can suck it. When Bridgerton come back, I'm gonna subscribe to that mug for about a month, and then I'm gonna not subscribe. So I think that might have something to do with it. I don't know, but if other people got their rates doubled, they probably was like, "Fuck this." For these mediocre movies, Anyway, the other thing, and I'll probably get cut off, so I'll call back, is Amanda Seales. What in the light-skinned foolishness is this? J.L. Covan need to come and get his girl because she making it look bad for the light-skinned and the mixed people. Light-skinned, mixed royalty prince is looking down from heaven and doing that meme, that gif that be online of him shaking his head like, girl, no. I knew he was going to do that. Yeah, Amanda Seales. This girl, and then when I found out she was from my hometown, I'm like, that explains a lot. Girl, you cannot... First off, my issue with her is that she's one of these people that her whole personality online is just being contrarian and just saying that she is standing up for black people, which I'm all for, black women in particular, I'm all for. But then she, during the pandemic, was online dissing her new man's baby mama. So I'm like, where's the pro-black women sentiment then, girl? And then the way she be coming after Issa, I work in the industry. Everybody I know ain't got nothing bad to say about Issa. That is very unusual. And you could tell that Issa was like, oh, well, maybe, because she's an empath like Rod, and how I used to be, and now I'm bitter. But Issa went on her show, was like, she's probably like, well, maybe she doesn't feel appreciated, so I'm going to go on her show and let her know that I love her, da-da-da. Right. I mean, even though she is paying her a check to be on the show, and it's by far the best role that Amanda Seales has ever had as an actress. So anyway, she goes on her show, and then she still talks shit about her. She can kick rocks. I put Amanda Seales in the same category I've been putting Monique in for years. And people said I was wrong, but it's like, girl, at some point, it's you. If you get in a fight with everybody, it's you. And these are the same women who talk about, I'm doing this for us, I'm doing this for black women in particular. And no, they doing it for that particular black woman that they are. They're not doing it for all black women. Because if you're wrong, you're wrong. And stop hiding behind that. So that's my 2 cents. Love you guys. Keep being fabulous. And I will keep listening. All right. Bye-bye.
She called back one more time, but listen, I can't agree more with everything you just said, especially the Monique thing and the Issa Rae empath thing. I was so fucking... I almost feel embarrassed how forgiving I was to like the Monique shit, to people like Amanda Seales and stuff. Now the thing I do is I try not to go into a place of like, I will always be angry at these people because they like, I'm not mad at them on any level. I'm not even mad at Amanda Seales. I just see this person as like, this is their nature, and I just wouldn't want to deal with a person like that, where you literally try to help them, you try to make an olive branch, and they just gonna always see it as some sort of like, whenever this goes bad, which it always does, it is always gonna be on the person who tried to help me fault. It's gonna always be that. And once you had it done to you, it's just, I can't unsee it. I see it now when it's happening to other people. I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. And when you talk about working in the industry, you're right. It's so rare that someone is as big as Issa Rae and everybody just likes them. Right. Like, and I don't mean like them like on Instagram, but like everybody, because the industry, everybody works. If you work on a project, you work with somebody that worked on another project, blah blah.
Right.
There's certain jobs that everybody wants. Cause it's like, yo, the way they treat people, the way they empower people, the professionalism, the lack of a huge ego on the star, like that kind of stuff. And Issa Rae's productions have gotten a lot of love because of that, because she does run a tight ship. What happens is these people with their internet grievances rely on the vast majority of us, y'all, the regular people, like the regular people, not knowing how stuff works.
Yes.
And that is a detriment to society that we're living in right now. I think right now, people not knowing how stuff works is definitely being used against them. How many people don't know how the government works? And when you listen to them complain about voting or the government, you quickly start realizing, oh, they don't actually know how it works.
And they just complaining about shit, right?
Like, I was and I'm not even deep in the industry. I'm barely a toe in to just late night comedy writing and what that has, like, the people and friends I've made, and the amount of stories where it's like, oh, that's how that worked. Like what I heard on the internet was this, but then someone's like, no, that, like, even like I said, the quickest way, the easiest one is Issa Rae didn't come in and intervene in all this stuff with my job. There's nobody that would do that. That's not how that would work. That person hires people, but there's also producers, line managers, executive producers.
So many people.
There's so many people that organize this shit above and beyond you. Because honestly, the nightmare, not just for Issa Rae and like as a talent, but the nightmare for a workplace would be a situation where everybody goes to Issa's office like she's the mom.
Right.
That's not tenable, because what if Issa Rae is an asshole? And now she has unchecked power where she can just intervene in people's interpersonal conflict like she's HR. And she can just go off of who's her fave or who, like, look, we wrote lines for Tiffany. We don't know who this camera guy is. Fire his ass. I don't care if she called him a nigga or not. Fuck it. He don't have to like it. Because that's really what, if you listen deep down to what Amanda's advocating, that's the scenario she wants. What would make Issa a good person if Issa becomes a flying monkey and fires this man or tells him, you just gonna have to deal with it. We say nigga a lot on this show. Oh, well. No. First of all, don't even come to me. That you walking in my office is a waste of time. Like, Bo's name is on the show, and Bo is a good friend of mine. But when I'm working in game theory, you know how many times I walked in his office and asked for something? Fucking zero times. His name's on the show. He is a boss. He ain't the boss of everything. I can't be in there like, hey man, I wanted to know about this camera production. It was like, what?
That's a whole team. Ask the person who's over that.
Hey, I don't like the way this intern was talking. Okay, well, go talk to the fucking intern or the manager of the interns or the HR department. Like, anyway, they rely on us not knowing how shit works. And that's a big tell, because what do they insert instead of here's how this would work? They go, I'm standing up for us, for all of us. Yep. Y'all know me. I'm always standing up for us. If people don't like me, it's because they don't like that I stand up for us. It's like, okay, what really happened? All right, she left one more voicemail. Sorry.
Hey guys, Lavette again. I'm sorry about that. I was actually in the middle of something, but no, I just wanted to call back in and just say, like, the Amanda Seals thing really bothered me, because she just reminded me of someone close in my life who's just a narcissist. Everything becomes about them under the guise of being the voice of the voiceless or the marginalized, and it's just narcissism. And it's the fact that she, on the set of Insecure, she insisted on calling a cast member the N-word. It's like, girl, and you're light-skinned. Again, I go back to the light-skinnedness. She making it bad for her people. They ain't beating the allegations with her on their team. But yeah, like, just honoring people's boundaries. Like, you want people to honor your boundaries, but you never want to honor other people's boundaries.
Right.
And, honoring people's boundaries only work for you when you are feeling superior, morally superior to people. So it's just annoying. She's always been sort of annoying, and now that we know that she can't even, I don't think she can control herself. And I think once before she was like, I'm on the spectrum. It's like, there's plenty of people who are on the spectrum who aren't jerks. Like, she's just a jerk at this point, I feel like, and trying to be a bully. So I also think she might be low-key jealous of Issa's success and how everybody loves Issa. But it's like, just do your best, girl. Get up every day and do your best, and stop trying to bully people. Like, and not everything need to be online, girl. I know that's how you made your coins, but not everything, every thought that pops into your head, you need to get online and tell people. So, I wish her the best, but having had experience with narcissists, like, you give them an inch and they take a mile, and nothing's ever their fault. They never take ownership of anything, and so she's just, I wish her the best, but if she keeps behaving this way, she will not be working much longer. So anyway, love you guys, and I promise last time. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, like I said, man, I haven't even talked about the colorism stuff with her, because I know there's people that really, like, go in on it and have kept up with her history of, like, talking about it and making herself kind of the victim of it. So I'll rather refer to those type of people than me. But yeah, man, it's just all I know is just the common denominator is always her, and whatever it is that makes her that way is just how she is. I don't think it's a thing she is going to change about herself. And I know too many people who have like had stories of working with her that have been like, no, she was terrible to me. But and that's, I mean, once I have multiple friends that say that, it ain't hard for me to be like, oh, okay. Like I know their character. So yeah, if she was a jerk to you, cool. And I'm not saying nothing criminal, nothing actionable, just jerk behavior. I did something that's a jerk. Sometimes people are jerks. It's all good. Last voicemails from Iman.
Hey Rod, hey Karen, this is Iman. I'm just calling in about the whole social media thing with the negative stories and fake accounts and stuff. It's like I've noticed on my personal account that it's not necessarily like even negative stuff, because of course a lot of people I'm friends with or follow, they don't really are in like that negative space. But even with positive stories that are fake, I noticed that there was this one story that just kept popping up in my timeline, and it was fake, about like this woman winning a Quran competition, and it would only be a screenshot that they were sharing. And I was like, this looks familiar, and I was like, I couldn't put my finger on it. And then finally I went into like the comments of another shared post about it, and then someone was like, this is from a beauty pageant from 2013. And I was like, oh, I remember this beauty pageant. Yes. I kept seeing it pop up, and then I would just like politely correct the person, like, actually this story is fake, this is the actual story. And I kept doing that, and it kept popping up. And then finally I just made a post about it. I was like, hey, I keep seeing this. And once I made that and made the big correction, like, hey, this is the actual story, and these are several links confirming this actual story, then I stopped seeing it in my timeline. I was just like, I feel like the algorithm is testing us, and it's testing us in the worst way. So yes, this is all. I hope y'all have a great weekend and enjoy your Hornets game. Bye. Bye. Oh, wait, no. Is it Charlotte? I don't know. I'm not paying attention when I'm listening. It's just fun. I don't even know what the team is. Oh no. All right. Anyway, leave me alone.
She had everything. She just didn't stick the landing. She was like, I felt like she lost a little confidence the last 10 seconds, but she did good. That's good. Good stuff. All right, let's get to the last segment, which is us reading your emails. Oh my God, this first one is a book. This is a novel. Katrina.
Did they space it out? Or is it one big block?
Nah, they spaced it out, but Katrina. Sis.
They got a 500 letter word count.
I don't know how many. It's so long. It's a chapter of a book.
They're trying to reach their quota.
I hope you donate. I hope you go behind the paywall.
Wow, please do, baby.
Premium, because I'm gonna read this shit. But I just want you to know, sis. Yeah, this a lot. This is a lot. I pasted it into a Word document, and it's 1,134 words. It's 3 pages, girl. This a lot. All right. It's called The Flag.
What we do for love.
The Flag and Boosie. Hey, Rod and Karen, 2 quick things.
I'm gonna say the way Roger said, they don't sound quick.
Quick, sis. Quick. The first quick thing is, all right. Hey, Ryder, Karen, two quick things. One, Karen, when you said you saw a group of American flags together and got nervous, I felt that in my spirit. I've been the same way since 2016. When I see an American flag hanging from someone's house or car, my gay black woman ass gets nervous. It's crazy to me how it became a symbol of hate. Don't get me wrong, the flag in America have always been on some bullshit. But the MAGA maggots have legit co-opted the flag to mean you and your non-white kind are not welcome here. It's become a warning, and that's disheartening. That's why I was so overjoyed to see Harris reclaiming it as a symbol for her campaign. To see all of the people in the DNC wearing red, white, and blue, it gave me the warm and fuzzies. Like, we really do have a chance to rewrite the narrative and make it a symbol of equal rights and inclusion. I'll never be ignorant to the shit show that is America, its history, and how xenophobia is in its DNA. But never in my life until Trump have I been so scared for everyone that's not white in my vicinity every time I see an American flag. Hell, right now I see someone on the street corner asking for money while wearing it on their t-shirt. I do like Rod to put my little coin purse away because it's giving Confederate energy. Yeah, I'm not a big flag person either, but I'm not against the flag either. It's kind of like
I'm like one per person, one per house, like just one.
Yeah, but I will say, man, I remember I was going to a restaurant and the white guy was in front of me and he had a t-shirt, and the back of the t-shirt had an American flag with a fist up that said freedom, and I said, white people freedom different.
Yes, it is.
Your freedom different.
Same.
That's not giving me like, if I see a black person with a shirt on that says freedom, I'll be like, okay, I know what you want. I know what you talking about. White people freedom, you got to ask some follow-up questions. Like, what you need to be free from exactly?
What
like, give
kind
me the
of freedom?
Particulars of the freedom
is your freedom a freedom of escape? Like what? Like and if you're escaping, what you escaping to?
Yeah, I just need to know, what's your freedom look like? Is it I need the freedom to say anything to anybody? They can't say nothing back. Freedom of speech.
Right.
I need to have the freedom to get my gun. Like, what's the freedom? Anyway, we will see what happens if Harris wins. If she wins and her campaign sticks with the Patriot theme, I will be out there in red, white, and blue cowboy hats and boots, humming God Bless America everywhere I go. Oh, and I'll get a shirt that says reclaiming my flag with Harris's face on it. Child, let me write that down. Somebody make it so I can buy it. She also said, okay, on the number 2. So fuck Boosie, that raggedy ass homophobic, transphobic, woman hating, child endangering, sperm donating, insecure in himself, sorry ass excuse for a parent, or a black man can kiss my cat's asshole. And that's me being kind-hearted, generous Libra that I am. He and people like him serve as a litmus test for me, and is the reason I was able to see my brother for the hotel piece of shit he is and cut him out of my life. He acted like he was okay with me being a lesbian when I came out, but then called me one night on a vicious rant about Dwayne Wade's daughter, citing Boosie and the sexual assault of his sons that he paid for. The way I cussed his ass out from the top of his head to the soles of his feet, the ancestors had to be proud that night. It's a great way to see who people really are, because they'll talk a good game but snitch on themselves when they side with or cite certain narratives.
Right.
They will smile in your face, tell you they support you, then try to burn someone at the stake that's part of your community because the Bible said. Tell you they support women, then try to discredit abuse victims because bitches be lying. Tell you they're all for equal rights, and then vote for a xenophobic monster who puts children in cages. It's asinine that people gravitate to these ideas because the bigotry never stops there. It's the same concept as the old saying, first they came for them and I said nothing. They're coming after you too, you fucking dingleberry. Get your shit together. That's why seeing marginalized people spew hate or be in MAGA makes my head spin. How can they not see that they're literally next in line? You don't have to care about me, but at least have some damn self-preservation. I agree. That's facts, 100%. Like, that's one of the reasons I think I don't have that much resentment for like what Obama said to black men, because I understand it on a moral level. Like maybe the numbers don't line up. Maybe you shouldn't be making that thing public. I get all that. This is not me. But like morally, I do find it to be worse when brothers are the ones participating in the bullshit of America. When it was like, I'm a propagating this misogyny, I'm a propagating this rape culture, I'm a propagating criminality, I'm a propagating xenophobia and racism. I do feel like it's worse. I don't know how to tell. I understand logically that black men are not. I don't think we're worse than any other group of men. Obviously, white men clearly have the resume and track record on everybody. They're lapping us, but do I look at black men and go, but we know what it feels like to be oppressed, so why would we contribute to other people's oppression? I do, all the time. Guilty as charged. And no, I don't feel bad about that, and I never will. I am black myself, and that's what gives me empathy, not what takes away my empathy. But I know a lot of black men who use it as an argument to not have empathy, where it's like, man, I'm already black, you want me to care about some other people? It's like, yes, I actually think it's easy to care about other people because of that, but that's just me. Anyway, I hate to hear your brothers like that. Let's see. I used to call it ignorance, but I'm starting to believe it's something more sinister. Privilege is intoxicating, and even knowing they're next on the chopping block doesn't prevent people like my hotep ass brother from handing over the butcher knife. It always seems to me that wanting dignity and equality for everyone is the path of least resistance, as it makes things better for us all. But it always seems like the majority of people don't see it that way. They see equality as a finite resource to fight over. I keep wanting to believe that they are not the majority, but in fact the minority, and are just the loudest. But I guess we'll see how true that is November 5th. Well, shit. Even if they the minority, they can win the election. They've been winning with the minority for the last, like, whatever, ever since Reagan lost, won. They, everybody that won as a Republican after him, I believe, has not won the popular vote. Woo! The second part was a long rant. Boosie has been a trigger for me ever since he publicly attacked Zaya, a child, then admitted to having his children sexually assaulted by and in front of other adults and faced no repercussions. Now when his name comes up, I dust off my soapbox and sip some lemon water because I have things to say. I can't help but call out the parallels and the harm people like him cause and the harm people like Trump cause. Most of the time, I just talk back to y'all while listening to Spotify, but this thing with his daughter not being able to come around her siblings really set me off. I experienced something similar years ago, and that's a pain that is hard to articulate. It's an accusation and assassination of character and a reduction of who they know you to be. It says so much. Ivy and her siblings will never forget the harm inflicted by this man who is supposed to love and protect them. As Greta Thunberg would say, how dare you? In conclusion, if I forgot to say it, fuck Boosie and anyone that agrees with his transphobic, homophobic, sexist, bigoted, and disgusting ass views. Ain't no way this man is still allowed to be in the public eye when we heard from his own mouth that he had his children in his care sexually assaulted. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really, I'm just repeating myself, but I don't get it. What the fuck? He said that out loud, and just nobody thinks anything of it.
Right. Nobody thinks it's a problem. I'm trying to tell you, my kid, we gonna have some motherfucking problems.
But it be the same thing too, where they do this thing where they're like, oh yeah, so how come whenever people talk about sexual assault and we bring up how some of these women sexually assault young boys and y'all don't care about it, I'll be like, do y'all?
Right. Do y'all for real? Because they don't.
Why are we fucking with Boosie? If he said the same thing about his daughter, his ass would be under the jail and everybody would be like, don't fuck with that guy. Like, don't let him come around. If he said, yes, I have grown men fuck my daughter because they not gonna be gay, we would be like, get this motherfucker a cell today. I don't get it. Anyway. The way people don't value our little black boys is wild. That man deserves to be under the jail. And, okay, we on the same page. And I hope not. I just hope he's next on Eminem's list. Somebody got to get him out of here. I wish all his children love, healing, and good therapists because they will certainly need it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting too because with that many kids and his ignorance, some of those kids are going to grow up in his ignorance and propagate it. And some of those kids are going to grow up being victims of his ignorance. And I wonder what that will do to their family. Anyways, thanks as always for being awesome big cousins that you are. It's always comforting and reminder that there are people out there like y'all and the Tips community. Y'all all my family in my head, and I hope I can catch the live show in person in February. If all goes well, I'll be the chick in the red, white, and blue cowboy boots. Yes, Katrina.
Easy to spot.
Come through, Katrina. You know, it was long, but that was well written. They did, it flowed.
You know what? Yes. Because a lot of times when people write long shit, it be like run-on sentences. Yeah. They be floating off topic. You were like, no. But like this, I got an essay. I thought it out. It sounded like you playing. So kudos.
Yep, you did that. Good job. Steven says, hey, I just need to let y'all know that when the idea that Yogi Bear was a coon came out of Rod's mouth, I went on to be with him. And by him, he's capital H. Hey, y'all have no sense, but the way Yogi says picnic was the biggest red flag, so I shouldn't be surprised. Standing in line at the pearly gates, Stephen from B-More, right? Pick a Nick basket, pick a Nick. Sounds a little racist-y. Tara says, hi y'all, this is really for Karen, but girl, I still say the official weapon of the show is the taser sometimes too. I stand with you, girl. Anyway, love the show. Thank you for all you do. I see you, Rod, lifting those weights. Let's go. Yeah, you know, I try to do a little something. You know, we are putting up 215, you know what I'm saying? Not just
bragging and shit.
That's probably not shit. It's probably like people that's like, it is funny because like everybody's journey is their own, and sometimes somebody will be in there and I'll be struggling with something, and then they just like throw up some plates, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Pardon me, I'll be over here by the kids table lifting weights.
Come on, that gonna be me and the kids.
Ray J is the most seriously unserious person in the history of man. No one is that funny without actually trying to be funny. Vince Staples wasn't lying about Ray Cephas in that interview. Love the show, best in the game for 13 years. This from DJ something else. He left this on our YouTube, but we obviously had finished reading those comments. So all right, y'all, that's it. That's everything. Thank you for listening. We appreciate y'all, and we'll be back with another show tomorrow. We have Ray Sani on the show, 10:30 a.m. Sunday. Y'all know that's our girl. We're gonna talk to her about being on the staff writing Everything Loves the new Everybody Hates Chris cartoon. So can't wait to kick it with her. You know, she's one of my favorite people on the earth. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.